Hey, alright, alright, here we go. Look at that, a solo recording. After so long, I finally get to catch up to my old pals, Addy, Pink, and Mike. So yeah, I'm Alex. I run this channel that has so far mostly just been used as an archive for old episodes of the Shut Your Mouth Lounge, as well as a couple of just random whenever recordings that I found while playing PS4. I've always kind of been intent on trying solo LPs, at least just for small little games, but never really felt the opportunity to take a shot. And I was recently inspired by my good friend Mike's release of a video of him LPing Monstrum. And Mike hates LPers and LPing in general with a passion, but nonetheless had a good time recording and made a high quality recording. So I was like, alright, well, you know what? I'll go for it. So today, I'm going to be playing Civilization 5 with all the expansions and DLC. Yeah, I'm striking the iron while it's hot here. I've chosen Civilization 5 because I think it's a game where I've not put enough time in to be bored of it, but at the same time I've put in enough time to not be a complete ass. I'm still only at Warlord, which is easy difficulty. At least it's not Chieftain or Settler. That would just be embarrassing. But this won't be the most pro of runs. I'm still learning the ropes of the game. I think, though, I'm comfortable enough with it where I won't have to focus too bad, and I'll be able to commentate. I'll be playing the Maya under Pakal, because they're probably going to be a pretty simple one for me to do for my first Civilization LP. They're well-built, building tall, and of course, you're going to inevitably use their long count special ability to force a great scientist as soon as possible, because it's Civilization. It doesn't matter who you're playing, you always rush science. Always. We've got running on the basic continents and standard types. Just, as boring as possible for my first, playthrough. Just to keep things, safe. As I'm getting the ropes here, not only for Civilization 5, but for solo LPing in general. Standard game pace as well, because I'd rather not go with either the quick time, where I'll have to manage each individual fucking city every couple seconds, or marathon and epic, where I'm going to have to click that next turn timer fucking constantly. By the way, hey, guess what? I love curse words. I don't necessarily love them, let me change that. It's just an unfortunate habit of mine by this point. I think I'll try and tone them down over the course of my series, but for now, I want to keep things as loose and easy as possible. So there are times where I will just let them fly. Regardless, let's go ahead and kick things on. I will shut the hell up and let Leonard Nimoy take it away.
Your people kneel before you, exalted King Pakal the Great, favored son of the gods and shield to the citizens of the Palanque domain. After years of strife at the hands of your neighboring rivals, you struck back at the enemies of your people, sacrificing their leaders in retribution for the insults dealt to your predecessors. The glory of Palanque was restored only by the guidance afforded by your wisdom, as you orchestrated vast reconstruction efforts within the city, creating some of the greatest monuments and architecture your people and the world have ever known. Illustrious King, your people once again look to you for leadership and counsel in the coming days. Will you channel the will of the gods and restore your once proud kingdom to its greatest heights? Will you build new monuments to forever enshrine the memories of your people? Can you build a civilization that will stand the test of time?
Rest in peace. Man, what a fantastic narrator. Alright, we've got a alright start here. There's lots of farmland for building up a big population early. We got a farm, we got some trees here and some hills in case we want to set the mine later. We've got stone for a quarry. Ooh, marble, in case we want to get some wonders going. And cotton for some happiness. That'll be great. Alright. And we have founded a Palanque. Alright. This first warrior, we're not going to let him get too far away from the city. We're just going to send him to look around just a bit. Ooh, salt. In Palenque, we are going to start work on a scout immediately, so we can get a good look at our much wider surroundings. We are going to go for pottery ASAP, so we can get the granary and the pyramid, the unique building to the Mayans. We can go ahead and get religion and science started at the same time. To my understanding, the Mayans are one of the top-tier civilizations of the game, partly because their unique ability allows them to spawn a great person every 364 years, which, of course, is inevitably used to get a free great scientist ASAP, as mentioned before. But the other great part is simply the fact that their equivalent to the Shrine is, for one thing, much more powerful at building faith, but also builds to science, which means that the Mayans get a very early game science advantage, even faster than, say, the Koreans or the Babylonians, to my understanding. I've yet to play either of them, but they are definitely both built up as being the chief science powers of the game. We'll go with tradition because I don't intend on building very large. I'm just going to try and keep it focused to a small couple of cities, mostly focused on building science, because, hey, let's keep it simple for the first run through, shall we? Tradition will give us 3 culture in the capital, and we'll unlock building the Hanging Gardens. Sweet. That 3 culture in the capital will help it expand to eventually get the marble, and, well, it's not going to have enough reach to get the salt. I'll have to start another seed to get the salt. Ooh, there's more ruins down there. Let's send the warriors over there to see what's in that little goody hut there. Ooh, citrus. I like a lot of the resources. It's not the best start I've had, that's for certain. I've seen some ridiculous starts, but it's a solid one. That scout is done. We get a free monument as part of tradition, so I'm not going to bother to build that. Instead, you know what? It would be nice to take out some barbs in the early game. At the same time, I'd love to set up some farms so we can really get the science game going. You know, we'll go with worker. Now, that means Palenque won't release anything for a while. Now, that could be Palenque, and I'm mispronouncing it, in which case I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I mean, Leonard Nimoy pronounced it Palenque, but who knows if he's messing it up. Free happiness from finding Mount Fuji. Sweet. Yeah, Mount Fuji, next to the Mayan Empire. I love civilization. Alright. Nearby barbarian encampments. I take it only revealed the one that I already knew about. Oh, thanks. I totally would have preferred that over a tech advancement. And they're gonna go mess with the scouts. Assholes. Now, can I just... thanks, assholes. Free money. And I get to whoop you. I've seen barbs leave their encampment before, but it never occurred to me that I could steal their encampment while they left. That's pretty funny, actually. There is a river right here, so if I want to start up a city to exploit the bananas and salt here, then this is quite a spot I'd want to set up. Ooh, and cotton, too. Yeah, this is a pretty good spot. It's not good to attack someone on a hill, but I've got enough. I probably should have actually built a second scout instead of just one, but, you know. For now, I'll live with it. We'll send the warriors back home before we have them heal. If only so we can get to see what's around here. Our second policy, we're not going to focus on building wonders yet. We don't have access to marble anyways. We'll take oligarchy, even though it's relatively useless right now. Yeah, legalism is what we'll go for next, and it'll give us a free monument.
Shall the clay say to him that fashioneth it, what makest thou?
It occurs to me now that I could actually take legalism to go ahead and get the monument to upgrade to the amphitheater for free. I should note, this is probably only the 3rd time I've played Brave New World. I'm much more used to Gods and Kings. Because, for the most part, most of my playtime of Civ 5 was quite a while ago. Anyways, we get the pyramid and the granary. Both are fantastic. I think we're going to try and build the pyramid first. Oh my god, another ruin, really. That's fantastic, actually. You know, archery is effectively a pointless tech for us. We're not going to build the Temple of Artemis because, I don't know, Egypt or Rome might be in the game. We don't know about that. And if Egypt or Rome is in the game, we don't want to bother starting to wonder if they'll just undercut it immediately. I think we'll go for mining, just because there's the stone right there. Oh, hey, what am I thinking? Hang on. What I should be doing is rushing theology so I can get the Mayan calendar going as soon as possible. Yeah, why am I even thinking? I need to go for writing. Yeah, good work, brain. Thanks. Alright, let's check out the... Woo. Oh, free spearmen. This early in the game. Radical. That's especially good for me because I usually wait a little bit before exploring bronze working. Then again, I rarely, if ever, play militaristic civs. I keep it nice and peaceful. Pantheon by turn 11. That means we're probably going up against the Celts or Ethiopia. Because it's... Typically, yeah, they don't... There isn't a Pantheon by now until you've got one of the specific civs devoted to early religion. Go ahead. Oh, we found Kuala Lumpur. Lumpur. I am going to screw up all kinds of pronunciations today. It'll be great. And we'll get the 30 gold for being the first to find them. That's one of the big reasons you should build a scout, is simply to find city-states faster than anybody else, so you can get the 30 gold and spend the 30 gold on free production. Since this being as early in the game as it is, production is very difficult to come by. So if we can get ourselves, say, a granary or a library through gold without having to wait the, fucking 15 turns to get it built, that saves us a lot of time and helps us to really get rolling in the early game. And it is very important to get rolling in the early game with the Mayans, considering the Pyramid and the Atlantis, both of their unique unit and building, are ancient times assets. And if you don't make use of the unique unit and unique building that your Civ has, then why even play the Civ you're playing? There are some Civs that have terrible unique units and unique buildings, but fantastic unique abilities. And if you're not going to bother using...
He who destroys a good book kills reason itself.
I never interrupt Leonard Nimoy. I always gotta let him go. But if you're not going to use the unique and unique building, just go for a Civ that has a good unique ability. And they gave us writing, radical. That's fantastic, actually. That was a good ruin. Excuse me. Alright. We will go for, let's see, what will we go for next? Leading eventually down the tree to theology. Well, we will need philosophy, and we'll need horseback riding. So, right now, I say we go for... Well, let's go with animal husbandry, so we can eventually get a camp and make use of the bison over there. And ordinarily, I'm a person who doesn't need to cough very much, but I assure you, during recording, now specifically, I've got a bit of something stuck in my throat. I'm trying to just ignore it right now, but let me tell you, it's frustrating, that's for certain. I don't know where my scout is going. Maybe I should have manually controlled him, but I'll let him be. Crossing that river took all of my movement.
Osmanlı ulusu sizi selamlar yabancı. Ben Süleyman.
Alright, Solomon. He seems to be a fairly alright ally in my experience. Could certainly be worse. We could end up next to Elizabeth or Shaka. Well, I don't know. I think I'd rather have Shaka than Elizabeth. Like, Shaka at least is predictable. Elizabeth just acts weird. You never know exactly what she's going to do. Usually it's going to be stab you in the back, but Sometimes she just sits a ton of units on your border, but never actually does anything with them. We'll take legalism for 4 culture buildings, which is in itself encouraging me to eventually build 4 cities. But right now we'll hold off and we'll try to focus on just making Palanque one fantastic city on its own. Alright, so we'll go ahead and check. Okay, why can't I see the unit tile production? Ah, I've thrown citizen. Oh, huh. Never noticed that land unconnected to water unconnected to rivers does not provide extra food. Civil service later on, Brussels, 30 gold, sweet. When I get the civil service technology later on, that does upgrade the food yield of plains that are next to rivers, but I figured that by default it was already better, and civil service just enhanced it further. And we'll take the pyramid for... Hang on now. Oh, we can just buy the pyramid outright. Alright, yeah, I'll take it. And then I will produce the granary. And we will neglect the Great Library, which may be the wrong choice. Oh, hey, Hiawatha.
Skanagahak. Ine Hiawatha ke handeze. Ne deyangwet de nunyani. Nero de nosuni.
That's pretty good. Hiawatha's a very nice neighbor to have. Mostly because he just doesn't bother you. One way or the other. Okay, well, if you want to fight, you can have it. And I'll get nice relations with Brussels, too. And they'll give me... Now, let's see. What will they give me? Well, they're a cultured, so they'll... Yeah, they're a cultured city-state, so they'll give me culture. Yay! I mean, I'm not particularly lacking for it right now, but, you know, can never have enough. Ah, damn it.
Thou shalt not muzzle the ox.
I should have expected that, honestly. Alright, let's see what's going on up here. Our next research, we will not take sailing. No, sir. We will take... calendar will be necessary to philosophy, but... I will go for I think calendar would probably be better right now, just for the cotton, so we can get the happiness. Stoneworks is nice too, because we do have stone and marble right there. Now, most literate people, we're pretty high in the science race, higher than Solomon. We could be doing better, that's for certain. Once we get a library and a pyramid going up at the same time, we'll definitely be doing quite well in the science race, particularly for early game. Oh, hey, it's Kamehameha.
Aloha pumehana ho'omika I oe ke hoa.
Which, him being there, presumably means we're going to be seeing him on plenty of lands that are technically not really inhabitable at this stage of the game. Well, oh yeah, those are Maori warriors, okay. We'll just go ahead and blockade these barbs so they can't go anywhere, except fight my spearmen or the Maori. Unless, of course, the Maori just leave. I probably should have thought of that first, but, you know. Farms do sound nice, but I'd also... Oh, right, I don't have a calendar yet. Silly me. I'll start the farm. And we'll take out these barbs. Just for the free experience. Can never get enough of that. Alright, hang on. Let's see. What have we got surrounding us here? Fair mix of everything, really. So, for our pantheon we're founding, thanks to the pyramid, I don't know what we're going to go with. I mean, we could just stick to the river. There are plenty of rivers around us. But at the same time, I feel like there's something better than just +1 happiness from rivers. We're surrounded by a fairly diverse mix. We got camps here, plantations here, quarries here. We're not building so incredibly tall that we're just gonna go for God King. We're not Venice. I suppose we'll just take... Oh, I kind of want to take this, because it'll enhance the pyramids that we're going to be building anyways. Yeah, fuck it. It might not be the optimal choice, but I'm taking ancestor worship. It'll give culture from all pyramids, and we're going to be building pyramids anyways, so it'll just work. Hopefully. Alright. And we will... You know, I'm not for sure if these guys will attack. I'd rather not take the risk, not for now. I'll defend for a little bit, let them heal. Then go back on the offense. Oh, cool. Scouts are getting into a fight. That's exactly what I want them to do. Alright, the first thing to do whenever your scouts get into a fight... Why did I piss off Jerusalem? Oh, the scouts must have run around inside of the field. Right. Get them to pull back a little bit and fortify them and hope to God that they don't give chase too hard. Yeah, there we go. Hang on. Oh, we're in the zone of control. Yep, pull out a little bit and heal again. Uh-oh. Oh, Jerusalem's really not gonna like us. Oh, this is a very important thing.
So teach us to number our days, so that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom.
Alright, well, I'm not trying to build for city-state happiness, so... I'm not exactly sure what position we should take here. You know what, we'll go into Jerusalem's border so that the barbs leave us alone. I'd rather have the scouts. And we'll invest in trapping for now, because we will eventually need it. Because trapping does lead to horseback riding, and horseback riding... Is that a sack? No, horseback riding does not lead to civil service. I read that wrong. Ha! Alright. Well then. Straight to philosophy for me. And the city of Palenque has barbs next to it. I'll just do that. I don't need the experience that bad. Since these guys are doing so well, I'll have them hit these barbs for 3 XP. 25 experience, and they'll only need to fight one more barb to hit their XP cap for barb fighting. And we'll have some proper spearmen. Alright, let's see. I do have calendar. I'm going to go ahead and go for the cotton, just so I can get more happiness and maybe aim for a golden age at some point. Alright, now we'll go ahead and get these guys fortified until they heal. Get them started on a plantation. Have them hit those barbs for the next 15. I've not built an Atlas yet, which is not properly taking advantage of the Mayan kind of setup. I'll do it after I get a grand. I'll do that. Since we've got these guys up a rank, we'll go ahead and give them medic, because medic is always worth something. And we'll have them fortify, because we don't really need to pursue that barb too much. As long as we're keeping an eye out for the barbs in our area, I don't expect too much out of them. Shockingly enough, that barb is not actually going for my scout. He's just kind of sitting there and getting shot at. 10,000 IQ plays, I guess. Alright, we'll go ahead and take another policy. And we'll take plus 10% growth and plus 2 food in the capital, because that's very nice for science. There's one thing I've learned just from the guides I've been reading on Civ 5. But population, very important for science. Because every citizen inherently by themselves provides 1 beaker of science. And then once you get the library built, it provides an additional science for every 2 citizens. So basically an extra 50% if you're at an even number of citizens. And of course, add that to the pyramid, which provides plus 2 beakers on its own as well. And the Mayans are in pretty good territory for early game science. Now, I should mention my experience with Civ, I feel. So, Civ is a series I've been into since I was pretty young. I'm not sure that I started in the same spot that everybody else would have. Because I started... shit. I should have expected that. That was a stupid move of me to not handle them. I figured pelting them, they'd have just walked away, but nope. Nope. They will definitely walk over there and pillage that particular grassland as well, and I will not be able to assault them in next turn because there's a river there, and that would massively debuff my troops. Alright, have these guys run and hide amongst the spearmen so they don't get captured, because in this early of a game, having your workers or settlers get captured can downright ruin the rest of the run. Alright, we'll have Palanque. We'll have Palanque hit that guy because he's already close to death anyways. Alright, and we will have spearmen move into the city, and we will have the workers move into the city. Palanque has finished the granary, so we will start work on an lat list so we can get these damn barbarians out of here. We will get the scouts to finish healing before they resume their exploration, and try to guide them around the barb camp there. And boy, these barbs are aggressive. It's something I'm not quite used to, because I'm used to playing on easier difficulties, but the barbs are very aggressive on, at least on Warlord. Of course, that's bold of me to assume that they adapt at all to difficulty. Lord knows there's plenty of strategy games where the AI simply gets buffs on higher difficulties. But yeah, I started with the colonization expansion for Civilization 4 back in the day, which I don't know if many people even remember that. There's kind of like, I want to compare it to like Alpha Centauri, and it was a sort of spin-off. It didn't really add anything to Civilization 4 itself, it just kind of existed as its own thing. It was its own little campaign devoted entirely to playing as England, or France, or Spain, or the Netherlands, and colonizing America. I'm not exactly sure what kind of reputation it has with Civilization fans. It's kind of awkward in that it basically serves the same role as, say, the... I'm going to automate the scout again, just for my sanity's sake. But it seemed like it was just kind of a scenario pack that had been separately playable on its own. Hang on, did they wreck that farm? Ah, they did. Oh, that was very nice of them. Yeah, sugar is not anywhere near here that I can see. Yeah, I am surrounded by cotton. So much cotton. Some nice resources, though. I think I'll take them as soon as I get a settler rolling. Hopefully we'll be able to get that Atlas out to go ahead and waste some of these bars. So they'll leave me alone. Ugh. Spears with the workers. Whenever you're surrounded by too many barbs, you want to try and keep workers under military units as much as possible. If you can afford to devote a military unit, an entire military unit, to protecting... Hey, oh hey, Wittenberg. 15 gold and 4 faith, thanks. If you can devote an entire military unit to protecting the worker, then that's nice, but you might not always be able to do that. Finish your construction, and we'll go ahead and get the spearmen on fortify, just in case someone shows up, but there probably won't be. And we will get these guys working on... Oh, how much does it cost to purchase a settler? 500 gold. Yeah, that's as expensive as it should be. The library is the bigger focus now, but the settler will definitely be coming along at some point. We are at turn 44. It would be a bit late to develop a settler, but I'm kind of late already. We'll get the Atlas working on wearing these guys down. I should have developed an Atlas from the very beginning, to be perfectly honest. But it is what it is. This is, like I said, I'm not spectacular at Civ, at least not yet. I do intend to become good at some point. That would definitely be something I would like. Oh my, horses. How How much food am I getting from there? I am getting at least 2 apples from there, so I probably just want to set. Okay, yeah, I was working marbles. That was cool of them. I should get Palanque growing a lot faster. But I do want to get good at this game at some point, definitely. And maybe recording will help me do that. Because that will encourage me to play the game quite a bit more. But at the moment, I am definitely equal in skill to just your average casual. If casual is a dirty word for you, or if it is not. Okay, the archers are returning fire, which is pretty much exactly what I expected. How's the Atlas strength? It's got a ranged attack of 7. The archer also has a ranged attack of 7. So the Atlas is just cheaper, comes earlier, and has better melee attack than compared to the regular archer. Alright. But overall, in terms of ranged actual strength, it's about equal. There is a ranged unit, a very, very early game ranged unit that is supposed to be better than the archer. I don't know if it's the Babylonian Bowman or if it's the Incan Slinger. But somewhere along the time the Atlas and the archer show up, there's someone who's clearly superior in that game. We found Sripada, so that's cool. Where is it? That's not like it matters. It's not within my territory. Like, I'm doubtful I'll even be able to get Mount Fuji. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get Mount Fuji unless I waste Wittenberg, which I have no intention of doing. We will pick up Barrage. I always go for Barrage and Drill, because I'd much rather just eliminate my opponent's terrain advantages rather than try to focus on my own. Oh, nice. We wiped out that unit of archers. And we will move on to the next turn. But generally, that seems to be the kind of consensus on which is better between picking an advantage in open territory or difficult terrain. It's just better to remove the opponent's defensive strengths rather than try to enhance your own offensive strength. Sweet! Golden Age. I knew there was a good reason to take that cotton. Alright, now the warriors might respawn there. I don't know for sure. If they do, hey, it's more XP for me to farm. Eventually those Atlas will be turned into compound bowmen, in which case they'll retain all the promotions they get from grinding those bars. So in the early game, it is good to hunt barbs if you've got a notable...
There is only one.
...military unit.
Ra is the spirit of Zeus-fostered kings. Their honor comes from Zeus, and Zeus, god of counsel, loves them.
I accidentally skipped Leonard Nimoy for philosophy. No! Oh, that's sad. I won't skip it on further playthroughs. I assure everyone, I will not skip it. I have failed you. Alright, we'll get to work on drama and poetry, because that is the next step to theology. Looks like who are these? Are these? Yeah, these are the Ottomans. Yeah, the Ottomans have built up a substantial military, shocking the middle one. Generally speaking, I do trust Solomon more than most civs, but at the same time, yeah. It is sometimes scary having a military power that close. We will send the Atlas back home so they can heal before sending them off to wipe out another bandit camp. Pick up the monarchy policy, which will give +1 gold and -1 unhappiness for every 2 citizens in the capital. Wonderful. So we will now be making a good deal more money. It's quite nice, actually. As well as more excess happiness. So in case anyone is watching that hasn't played Civ 5 at any point in their lives, in which case I would recommend the game to you. It is quite a good game. But there is a mechanic called happiness in this game. Happiness increases from having things like luxury resources, or having happiness buildings like circuses. And you get some naturally just by existing. That's the difficulty level of happiness. To my understanding, every difficulty level, it gives you some happiness, simply so that you don't immediately enter a recession upon beginning the game. But the amount becomes more negligible over time. The reverse of happiness, unhappiness, is generated by the number of cities as well as the number of people you have, and it also is increased when you have wars that generally don't go anywheres, and whenever you conquer cities, raise them, and I think you might get them from puppeting cities, but I'm not exactly sure. Any happiness that you have more than unhappiness is called excess happiness. Excess happiness builds towards your golden age meter, and when you build up to the golden age meter to the max, it increases your gold production, your hammer production, and your culture production. So all around, happiness is pretty nice. You're going to have a lot more of it as a tall civ than a wide civ, because most civs are, generally speaking, going to have less unhappiness from people than they are from cities. Usually. And the worker, now that he has been freed up, we will send him to, let's see. We'll send him to set up another farm there. And we'll send a spearman with him. There is a barbarian archer right up there just watching me. That's cool. So, anyways, to get back to my history with the Civilization series, and hopefully this time I won't let... Oh, Christ. This time I'll try not to let anybody interrupt me. Except for some barb archers that are insistent on wrecking my things. Okay, I might just wipe out all these archers in one turn. Hang on, are they... Yep, wiped them all out in one turn. That is the fastest I've ever killed a unit in this game. Destroyed. Yeah, we're gonna want to take out that barb camp sooner rather than later. They're gonna keep sending people to harass me until I wipe them out. It's very... It's kind of an interesting thing. I played a fair bit of Civ 4. Though I forget whether I played Civ 4 or Civ 5 vanilla first. But after colonization I got pretty into, but not entirely into. It's not a perfect game, that's certain. But, it works. As your first strategy game, it's pretty solid. And that led me into Civilization Revolutions, and on console, of course. A very casual Civilization that I'm sure Civilization purists roll their eyes at. But nonetheless, pretty high-quality Civ game for consoles. Given that consoles are often ill-suited for strategy gameplay. And I don't think we'll want to set up a temple this game. We'll start work on a settler, yeah. But Revolutions, I had a lot of fun with. I only rented it, though, because this was about 10 years ago when you actually would rent games rather than simply just outright buy them at sale price. Boy, the games industry sure has changed, hasn't it? We'll have you guys fortify until the workers are done. Lots of people entering the classic here. Eventually, I was able to get set up with a decent PC. Not quite a gaming rig, but a decent PC. And I was able to play Civ 5 Vanilla and Civ 4 with Beyond the Sword and Warlords. And between the two, Civ 5, definitely a lot more casual friendly. But Civ 4, for what it was worth, reminded me a lot more of Colonization and Revolutions. Which shouldn't be shocking in the case of Colonization, considering Colonization was itself pretty much just a spin-off of Civ 4. But at the time, I preferred it. And I believe at the time Civ 5 had a relatively bad reputation, simply because Civ 4 purists preferred its more complexity over Civ 5's relative simplicity. And we will have these at Atlas to pull out, and then immediately throw spears while running. It's called skirmish infantry. Learn it. The Golden Age has ended. Yeah, Golden Ages don't really last too long, especially if we're not playing as the Persians, and especially if we don't have Machu Picchu, which I don't think we'll end up developing. I'm not exactly sure. I can't see this being too much of a wonder-focused game. Now, I think we'll go ahead and send these guys down to grab those cattle there. I'm really tempted to send my spears up to help the Atlas, but I won't. And I accidentally opened up the city screen. But yeah, Civ 5. No, I'm not going to take part in your war against the Iroquois. Thanks for letting me know, though, Solomon. So, even though Civ 4 was the one that was more appealing to me about, let's say, 5 years ago, and the one I put more time into, now Civ 5 generally appeals to me a lot more. I guess it may be simply because it's partially simplified. So for me, like, wanting to get more into strategy games, wanting to do more than just dip my toes in, it's more appealing, perhaps. But regardless, here we are. I've bought Brave New World. I already had Gods and Kings. I also picked up all the DLC that comes with it. So, here we are. And those spearmen are not going to catch me. If they try to run up, Palanque will just barrage the hell out of them. Really? Ah, stupid barbs. Alright. Time to die. But hey, this is why we had Atlas built. Barbs are too much of a problem to ignore. And I fondly remember Gods and Kings when barbs were pretty much a completely forgettable nuisance at worst. And we'll take... cover sounds nice, but for now I'll... You know what? I'll go for cover. I'll go for cover this one time. That may be a mistake, but I'm taking it. Right, Ottomans are protecting a ton of city-states. You go ahead. I'm not planning on going for a diplomatic victory. I'm playing the Mayans. I am going for a cultural victory. Without it. Not a cultural victory, a scientific victory. God. I'd need more than 4 cities to get a cultural victory. Jerusalem desire.
What is drama but life with the dull bits cut out?
Thank you, Leonard. Or Alfred, whoever I should be crediting there. Probably Alfred, but yeah, let's go ahead. They probably won't come out to attack me. The Atlas are... Well, they have 5 strength, so there could be worse. I think that's about the same strength as a scout, but, I mean, it's not horrible. Let's see, mining would lead to masonry. Oh, theology, duh. Why would I take anything else? Get that great calendar rolling. Get ourselves a great scientist. Please wait. Right. Now, I'm gonna wipe out this camp just to keep them off of Palanque's ass. But afterwards, I am going to be turning the Atlas back west to see where we should build out here. I do want to keep a substantial amount of space between Palanque and our new city. I'll probably build it on the cattle, because I think building cities on resources will allow it to harvest that resource without needing a improvement. It's always an important thing where you found your city, because whatever land it's founded on will be harvested automatically, no matter what, without any population. Alright, I guess we'll just go ahead and have the Atlas turn around now. I didn't realize the settlers were coming out that fast. We'll have the settlers... I guess we'll just have them join up with the Atlas out here. Yeah, that way the Atlas can cover them. And we'll now have Palanque work on a... What do we have them work on? We'll have them work on a temple just to set up some religion. No, we'll have them work on a caravan. Because we need money right now at 3 gold per turn. That's not a great rate. And a temple would only further lower the amount of money we get each turn. Set the Atlas up to go this way. Settlers as well. I'm thinking we'll set them up on the cattle. If that's a mistake, well, we'll live and learn. Hey, it's our first recorded Civ campaign. What could possibly go wrong? And just trying to check. Let's go ahead and check the amount of spaces between Palanque and the suggested spot. Let's see. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not a completely optimal city setup, but hey. Alright, we'll adopt a policy, and we're going to go ahead and kick on aristocracy, which is not going to be of tremendous use, because like I said, we're not planning on spamming wonders, at least not this early in the game. But it will give us a free aqueduct and 15% growth, which is very, very good. That will significantly increase growth in Palanque and allow it to be a hell of a city in the early game. The workers are done here, so we'll go ahead and kick up some farms in this general vicinity. Hang on, let me move the spearmen over there so that they'll protect them. Get them fortified. The Atlatlists. We will have... Oh, this is a march. This is going to fall down. Ah, crap. I should have just had him cross the river. Ah, well. Wasted turn is a wasted turn. Nothing can be done. And they'll cross the river here and still lose a turn. That is an entire wasted turn, folks. Some elite Civilization 5 pro plays here. And they're going to cross the forest and immediately also spend their turn. I'm very tempted to set up here on the forest, but I think setting up that close to Palanque would be a mistake because there will just be so much tile overlap. But I am definitely intent on setting up over here so I can get the river, get the sea, get those fish, get all the delicious resources in this general area. They won't be able to get the bison since Brussels already grabbed them, but they will be able to get the cattle, the horses, the cotton, this stone over here, and these dyes, which is all very, very good. I can have them go ahead and sell their city. Boom, there we have. There we have Tikal. Okay, hang on. The cattle is still part of the city. Amusingly enough, you can just see it inside the city. And it gives 3 apples and a hammer. Radical. It doesn't seem to be the same rate as it would produce if it were improved, but I probably wasn't that intent on improving it anyway. And Tikal will set up a granary? I'm tempted to take the pyramid. I'll take the pyramid. Culture, faith, science, all very good stuff. Pantheon's been founded in a faraway land. Alright. I'm not taking the religion lead, because the Celts are out there somewhere. No idea where they are, but they are out there. I'll have the Atlatlists sit there for now. I may just have them permanently garrison. But I'm probably in second place for religion right now. Let's see, the world's busiest people. I'm in the middle. Yay! Solomon has probably already set up his second city for him to have a number that high. Hang on, let me set Tikal up to a food focus so they can get population going. They won't really get some production going until they won't really get a production going until they have enough people to actually work the land. The workers have finished a farm here, so we'll go ahead and have them set up another. This being in the early game, we do want to spam farms quite a bit so we can get populations rolling. This is one of the things that apparently is vital to becoming a big, not big, but a good Civ 5 player. When you first start playing Civ, you will just let the city manage itself. And you'll just, odds are it will try to focus on kind of an even production of everything. But when you are getting properly better at the game, you really want to focus immediately on just getting the biggest city population possible. Firstly, for science, and second, how many barbs? There are no barbs on the path to Global Emperor. Okay. Alright, plus 4 gold per turn. That's pretty nice. But you want to get as many citizens going. Firstly, for science, because science dominates everything in Civilization. And secondly, so that all your tiles can properly be worked. Now, I'm pretty willing to bet we may be the first to get to... I'm not confident enough that we are the first to reach... Let's not develop any wonders, at least not yet. Not until we get marble rolling, that's for certain. Alright, we will go ahead and set up a... that -2 gold is not high. I will pick it. I'll get another Atlantis so I can hunt barbs and have a good military rolling just in case, say, Solomon decides to get aggressive. Which, I mean, this early in the game and our borders being so far apart, I don't expect it, but it's always nice to have a decent military. Yeah, I don't care about city-states, at least not right now. I'm not going for a diplomatic victory. And some city-states definitely have nice benefits. Like, let's see. Cultured is very nice. Kuala Lumpur does not have any goals right now, so I can't really get in close with them. But the other ones... no, I'm not too terribly into them. And we'll go ahead and hit that next turn button. Telling Oz entered the classical era. Good to know. Let's go ahead and take a look at demographics, just so I can get an idea where I'm standing. I am the hottest for population. That's pretty much to be expected, since I'm focusing on population, and everyone else is probably just letting the automatic AI manager do its thing. And the automatic AI manager will always prioritize just kind of a generic. I'm not doing so well for hammers, though I rarely do well for hammers in the early game anyways. I'm not building in a forest, I'm mostly building in plains along rivers, so food is going to be where I dominate. I'm mostly pretty average in all the important parts, except for soldiers. Though, oh my god, the Iroquois are building up a hell of a military. The Iroquois and likely the Ottoman are probably both building up pretty substantial early game military, so that's inflating the number quite a bit. I will try to set up a decent military, but nothing too insane. After theology, I'm going to try and get masonry, though, because the stone and marble here are taunting me. I'd like to go for that cotton, go ahead and get a plantation set up there. That way, well, they'll reach the same destination. I don't think the barbs are going to come out with anything in the next couple turns. If we can get a second source of cotton, we can trade that cotton off to somebody else. I don't think the Egyptians are in this game.
3 things are necessary for the salvation of man. To know what he ought to believe, to know what he ought to desire, and to know what he ought to do.
Radical, we got theology. So that means we will be getting...
Welcome to the medieval era.
We're in the medieval era in 800 BC. That computes. Right, so the calendar has changed to the Mayan calendar. And whenever the Baktun ends, we will get a great person. This is my first game as the Mayan, so I don't completely know when the Baktun is going to end. But hey. Always got to learn sometime, don't you? Alright, we'll move the Atlas here. Get these spearmen on their way. Move the Mayan worker there. We will use these Atlas to wipe out this particular barb camp. And probably look around for any others. For production, I'm really tempted to go for a wonder. Like, the fact that the pyramids have just been developed now, and they seem to be the only wonder I've noticed being built, to me that implies that there is no particularly wonder-hungry civs on the map right now. Ooh, that's good. 37 turns is a hell of a time to wait, but I am really tempted by that. I am very tempted by that. I'll go for the Great Library for now. That may be a mistake, because whoever is working on the pyramids will probably also be working on that. Just to be sure we get the Great Library, I will switch to production focus, giving me a 15 turn wait time. That may still not be enough. If we miss it, we will get some gold, and that'll be nice, because we can buy whatever we want. But for right now, I'm not so sure about it. And we're we still haven't developed archery or mining in the year 800 BC. So that's fantastic. We'll go ahead and... You know what? I think we'll... I want to grab trapping for the bison now that I think of it. Because, we do have horses, so that would allow us to build a circus. Yeah, we'll go for trapping. And we will go ahead and hit that next turn button. Alright. Now let's go ahead and send these plant lists up to nuke the hell out of these bastards. Alright. And construct a plantation up here so we can get cotton, so somebody else will trade us their resource, hopefully. And that way we can get some happiness from a foreign resource. Get rid of these barbs so they won't bother Palanquin anymore. I'm just gonna mix it up. Sometimes it's Palanquin, sometimes it's Palanquin. Either or, whenever I pick it, it's what I go with. Now...
Even brute beasts and wandering birds do not fall into the same traps or nets twice.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so I think we've passed a Bakhtun, so we do get a new great person. Hang on, let me see. Alright. Oh my. Hello. Okay, that only took... math. 75 years to happen. But there is a decent chance that that the calendar is in fact not relative. In which case... the calendar may have started from the very beginning of the game, and I may have just hit it at a very convenient time. Regardless, that does give us a great scientist, and we will immediately get him ASAP, and we will throw him down on more of the more relatively useless tiles. Let's see, plains? Well, we can... no, let's throw him down on a grassland so we can get 2 apples out of the deal as well. And our next research, we'll start up on mining. Avoiding archery like the plague here, because it's not really necessary for me. Probably also going to try and avoid construction for a little bit. I don't know if it's like just a little insane thing of mine that's actually ineffective, but I generally try to avoid whatever tech obsoletes my unique units until absolutely necessary. Partially because I just want to keep their promotions and build as many of them as possible. And we will put that on lock just to make sure nobody gets any wise ideas about switching off of it. But that should give us a very nice early game science advantage. Ah, thanks, dickheads. Very cool of you. Very, very cool of you. Whatever.
The meek shall inherit the earth, but not its mineral rights.
I love that line delivery. He sounds so genuinely pissed about the idea of them taking the mineral rights. We'll go ahead and have the Atlas explore the kind of east coast of where we are, just to get a good idea of what we're dealing with. Alright. Oh my god, our science production is through the roof now. We will go ahead and take masonry, so that we can get the marble and stone going.
E mai, e paira pu ka po e o kaua.
I'm not really intent on having a military build. How about we just trade embassies? Alright, well, come back to me when you can write.
Gelin pazarlığa tutuşalım.
No. I don't want horses. I'm not interested in horses, people.
How happy are those whose walls already rise?
I'm playing the defense game here if I'm going to be playing the military game at all. So I'm going to just be spamming spearmen and atlas lists. I don't want any iron, I don't want any horses. You're gonna have to give me a better deal than that. You guys start work on a camp. That way we can get some bison. I don't know if bison are a luxury resource. I think they are. If they are, then they'll confer extra happiness, which will be very, very good for me. We will start up sailing right now so we can get these fish, and Tikal will be able to get some decent food going. Not fantastic, but decent. Get those spearmen fortified so they'll just sit there and wait for somebody to come and mess with them. And have the Atlas do a little bit more exploring. Oh, damn, the Iroquois already have mohawks. That's... well, I guess that's not that surprising. If they've been focusing on the military path instead of just generally focusing or trying to focus down any other path, I guess.